Hi everyone, it's Melissa from the Hug Strap. I'm here today to teach you major movable scales is basically what I'm going to call it. So the idea is that if you learn a pattern for a scale, and this is true of all of the scales, there's many different open position patterns, but we're going to focus on just one for today. And what I want you to understand is if you understand that pattern and know what the distance is between each of the frets, all you have to do is memorize the pattern, and then you have many scales in your back pocket. So you don't only just know the D major scale, you know the E major scale, you know the D sharp major scale, you know the F major scale, you get the point. So as long as you keep going up the neck and you keep the pattern the same, you know many scales. Why the heck do you want to know these things? Let's convince you next why you need to know these scales. In some of my other videos, I'm talking about chord theory, and I'm talking about how to make bar chords, and just trying to unlock your fretboard in general, so that you're not just stuck here, at the 3rd fret, always playing the same open position chords. The reason you need to learn these first is because this is kind of what everything's based on. So if the first thing you should learn is your C major scale. If you haven't done that already, go check out that video right now and start adding it into your repertoire when you practice. It should be one of the first things you do to warm up your fingers and just kind of get that fretboard underneath them, warm everything up. If you sing, it's good to sing with it. The other thing I always tell my students to do when they do the C major scale is to say the notes, because then you're also learning all the notes on your fretboard. So it makes it much easier when you go, hey, I really would like to do a solo and learn how to do that. Well, now you know where a bunch of notes are, so it makes it a heck of a lot easier, okay? So go do that first if you haven't done it already. But if you've done that and you want to learn some more, you're going to watch this video. So let's get started, okay? So I want to talk about the D major scale, and this pattern can also be moved down one. I'm starting just at the D major because I think it's just easier to understand like a major scale rather than to throw in all the sharps. But this can be played anywhere on the neck, and you'll get a bunch of different scales. So I'm going to stand up so you can see what I'm doing. All right, you're going to take your middle finger to your C string, 2nd fret, okay? Then you're going to place your ring finger on the 4th fret of your C string. Now, I want you to notice something. There's a little distance right here, right? Between the D and the E, there's a D sharp. So there's a little distance of 1 fret, okay? And I want you to memorize that because it's going to be the same when we do it on the string as we go up. So 2, 4. Now next you're going to take your index finger to the E string, 2nd fret. Then you're going to place your middle finger down on the 3rd fret, and then you're going to put your pinky down on the 5th fret, okay? So again, memorize that pattern. So you see there's no distance between my 1st and my middle fingers, but I'm going to leave that ring out, and there's a little space there, and I'm going to go with my pinky onto the 5th fret. Now the next string, you're going to go 2, 4, 5, okay? So that is a little space between my 2 and my 4. I don't play with the middle finger on that string, okay? So when you play the whole scale together, it's 2, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 4, 5, and that's the D major scale. Now if I take that in same pattern, right, and move it up one for the D sharp major scale, I'm going to play 3, 5, see, 1 space, right, on this string. On the next string, it's going to be 3, 4, 6, no space, but my ring finger doesn't play. Then I'm going to go to the A string, right, 3rd fret. I'm going to leave this middle finger out. He doesn't get to play today. 5th fret, 6th fret, okay? So that's the same pattern. It's just moved up 1, so now we have different notes and we have a different scale. Now if you go here, you have the E major scale, all right? Same pattern. I'm going to put my index finger down on the 3rd fret, and then I'm going to put my ring finger down on the 6th fret. Notice how my middle finger doesn't play on this string, right? On the next string, I put down my index finger, then my middle finger, ring finger gets left out, pinky goes on the 7th fret. Now we're going to move up to the next string. I hit the 4th fret. I'm going to leave my middle finger out on this string. Ring finger goes to the 6th fret. Pinky goes to the 7th fret. That's the E major scale. So if you just keep moving up, you have now many scales that you can play, and they're all in your back pocket. And what this can do, if you're really disciplined about it, you can actually say the notes as you go, and then you will know where all the notes are on your fretboard. That's great. It also just kind of teaches you what the notes are in each major scale, which is really helpful for understanding chord theory later on. So this is a good exercise to start with. It's just learning some of these scales, learning some of these patterns, and just by knowing one pattern, you now know many scales. You don't have to memorize a million of them. All right. So try adding that into your routine, you know, and you can kind of switch it up. Maybe, you know, do C major scale and maybe do D major scale one week and try and like test yourself out. And really, I know it's difficult. I know maybe it doesn't seem like fun. It's kind of like eating your vegetables, but try and do the notes. And that way you'll start to realize there's some relationships on this fretboard, and it just makes your life so much easier, especially when you want to go to try and learn how to improvise and how to solo, to know where these things are. It also really helps when you start to learn bar chords, because you realize, okay, if I'm on one fret, I know that I have, you know, this bar chord if I'm doing this shape. So it's just kind of, it's like all these little puzzle pieces that start to come together, and it will make your playing more rich. And it'll just make it a little bit easier on you. And it just kind of unlocks everything. It makes it a little more exciting. If all you've been doing is playing songs, and you're like, okay, I'm getting a little bored. What else can I learn? It's time to learn some music theory. All right. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, hit subscribe. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment box. I'm going to be trying to dive a little bit deeper into music theory as we go with some more videos, and just kind of doling them out in bite-sized pieces so your head doesn't explode. All right. Take care.